Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. I am Shon Williams, aka Mr. President, and welcome to the Safe Room, a safe space for business owners, entrepreneurs in Toronto to share their personal and professional stories. Now, today is going to be a very different episode. And I know I say that in terms of like everything else, but I truly mean different episode because today it's just me. It's just me for this conversation. I'm going solo for this 1 week. I promise you I'll be back with a guest, but I do want to take the time to talk about a couple things that happened just last weekend and even some things coming up in the next few weeks or next week, I should say. But I do want to take the time to talk about those things with you guys. So I hope you are willing to sit down, chat with the president. Again, put your thoughts in the comments. I would love to interact with you guys. If you have any questions, if you want to call in, let me know. I'm here to chat. I'm here to chat. But today, there's a couple things, I want to go over. And just this past Saturday, we had a very, very wonderful event, super successful. You probably heard me talk about it a lot leading up on the show. And it was the Voice of the Millennials Youth Summit. The theme was Be the Light. It was the fourth annual Youth Summit. And it was a huge success. I had a amazing time being the MC. It was definitely nerve-wracking experience because it was my first time emceeing. It was my first time doing anything like this. So I mean, I don't know how I was going to fare in terms of just performance-wise, but a lot of people gave me that affirmation, that validation that yeah, you did good. You did great. So I'm happy, and we're definitely going to talk about the recap for those who couldn't come. I told y'all should have got your tickets. You should have got your tickets. If you heard me all those weeks and you didn't come, that's on you. You got to come next year. You have to come next year. And trust me, I'll be back next year. Who knows? Maybe it's a back to back MC. I don't know. That's a possibility. So we're definitely going to talk about that. And then one thing I also want to talk about that I have kind of mentioned before, but I haven't gone into full detail is my celebration event. So for those who don't know, the Safe Room has been operating for 5 years now, which is crazy because when I got started, I had no plans of it making it past like 5 months. Like it was just kind of like, okay, it's a hobby. I'm just doing it for the meantime because I'm bored. It was the beginning of the pandemic, but now we're at 5 years and counting, and I'm going to be doing a celebration event on Saturday, July 26th. So it's going to be a huge, huge night, very historical. So I'm going to be talking about more in terms of the details, what's going to be happening there, and just even some future plans for the Safe Room and for myself, like what I want to be doing moving forward. I talked about the MC work for the Voice of Millennials Youth Summit. So maybe that's something I want to do moving forward. Maybe that's something I want to try to dive into a little bit because I'm seeing a lot of my friends diving into stuff like that. So maybe I want to dive into it. But, I just wanted to give that quick intro, just kind of break down what's going to be happening for this conversation. So, again, you guys are listening to the Safe Room here on Love Bay Radio. If you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram at the Safe Room Official or go to my personal page, which is the president of TO. Again, the president of TO on Instagram. Go to my YouTube channel, Shon Williams. I know I haven't posted anything there yet, but there's good reason. There's good reason. I'm definitely taking some time to work on some things behind the scenes. So definitely do that. If you want to find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, you can type in the Safe Room there. We have all our conversations. You can head to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio on YouTube. Find all my conversations there. If you want to binge watch, whether you're cooking, maybe you're out with friends, maybe you're at the gym, you're just working out, you need to put on a podcast, put on your favorite show here on Love Bay Radio, you can do that. So again, all that I'll be repeating it again for those who are just coming in and those who will be coming in later on. But again, enough of me with the intro. Let's get into the breakdown. All right. So first things first, I do want to start off with the recap for the Voice of Millennials Youth Summit. Now, I remember when the opportunity was given to me to, host, be an MC. And like I mentioned before, it was nerve wracking. Like, I don't know the one thing about MCing. I've seen a lot of people do it. A lot of my close friends do it. And like, they are like absolute like masters. There's a reason why it's like stands for master of ceremonies. Like they know what they're doing. And I know you're probably thinking, well, Shon, I mean, you're such a professional of what you do on the Safe Room. Like this should be natural. It's like, yeah, but it's like it's a completely different beast. It's a completely different animal. So it doesn't come off like that. So when I got the opportunity to do it, I was excited, but also nervous. But I said, you know what? Sometimes you need to do something that's challenging in order to grow and go to that next level in your career. So I said, hey, what the heck? Why not? So leading up to it, obviously, you heard me promote and really build up the excitement and the hype for this event. And going into the day of, I was pumped, super pumped, got there early. And listen, like, the day itself was great, but if there's one thing I would change about the day. I wish we did it on a much cooler day in terms of the weather because boy, oh boy, it was hot. It was so bad. Like, it was so bad that I swear, like, I literally stepped in the location because, again, it was taking place inside of a church where, like, the AC wasn't as powerful. We had lots of fans set up. I literally stepped in and like 2 minutes in, I'm already sweating. Like, my back is dripping like Niagara Falls. Like, I swear, like, I it was bad. It was bad. I was wearing like a nice little getup. I had like a nice little blue cotton shirt with my jeans. I was looking fresh. I was looking dapper. Then I thought to myself, ain't no way I'm about to sweat. Like, I'm about to sweat buckets. This is not good. But you know what? We're gonna prevail. It's all good. God is good. We're gonna get through it. So obviously, we started with the setup. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, trying to figure out how everything was going to be finalized. Obviously, people are coming in and I'm working on my script. And, I'm trying to figure out, okay, I need to know what to say, when to say it. But the whole thing about events as well, guys, that if you've been to multiple events like I've been, just because you have something like a script to work with and you can just follow that, be prepared for changes. That's subject to change. Like, it's going to happen. It doesn't matter. Nothing is like smooth sailing. So in the back of my mind, I was trying to make sure that I was ready to go, but at the same time, let's just let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. But again, I was excited. So then we get into the swing of things. Everybody's coming in. My family came out, so it was really nice to have my family there supporting. Obviously, for those who are watching, you probably know Chanel, like the number one supporter. She came out, and I'll talk about her later. I'll talk about her later, how I had to like show some love to her. But again, it was a wonderful time. Then we got into the swing of things. We had our program set up. So obviously, I did a little bit of introductions. It took me a little bit to get out of my shell, but eventually, listen, like once I'm in, I'm in. Like once we're locked in, we're locked in. So it was super dope. We started off with an opening prayer. Nigel Hunter from the Champions Table. If you guys listen to Love Bay 24/7, then you definitely know about the Champions Table. Men talk, women talk, but the truth never lies, and the truth sets you free. So that's my guy Nigel. It's great meeting him for the first time in person because we're actually in like separate group chats on WhatsApp. So I mean, it was definitely a fantastic experience to get to meet him in person. So again, he started off with the opening prayer, and then afterwards we got into the land acknowledgement, the national anthem, and then shout out to DJ Marcus, like because he was super dope. And honestly, he was like pure vibes. Like we were like talking as people were coming in when things were getting started, and he was definitely like keeping a good conversation with me. And I'm like, yo, he's got like great energy, just great energy, great vibes. And I know he's like amazing at what he does. I know he also does a show here on Love Bay Radio. So again, like the whole Love Bay team just came out in forces that day to help out, to support, and just show everyone what we do best. Put it on a great show and a great experience. So yeah, shout out to DJ Marcus. He was spinning them tunes, so gotta give some love to him. And then we got into the speech segment. We had a member of Parliament, MP Yvonne Baker, and it was great having him there. He was the MP for the Etobicoke Center, so having someone of his stature there was a huge, huge moment. And something I just figured out before I actually came on here, that he posted something on his Facebook, and there's a photo of me and him. It was actually interesting. I think it was part of one segment of the program that I kind of winged. I will talk about that later. It's like because like I mentioned, things were subject to change, and I had to work on the fly at one moment. We'll get to that, but to show some love to the event, I really, really loved that. I think anyone from Love Bay Radio would love that. So again, thank you to MP Yvonne Baker for coming out for that event. Absolutely amazing to have him there just to represent and to show some support for the Voice of Millennial Youth Summit. Now, this is where things get crazy because, things were going smoothly. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, it's smooth sailing. Ain't nothing wrong. And then the tomfoolery kicked in. So, somewhere, I guess, in between of the Yvonne Baker segment when he was speaking, someone walks up to me who's part of the Coalesce dance group. And mind you, like, they were fantastic. But we were having some issues with the music and the mix. So it was a matter of like, oh boy, like what are we gonna do? Because like we couldn't find access to the mix. We needed to get like an adapter to plug it to the phone so that way they can hear the music on stage. Everyone else can hear the music. So after Yvonne Baker went, this was when your boy had to just improvise. I had to go full improv like it was drama class in high school, just working on the fly. But luckily, like Sean comes prepared. Mr. President always has a plan. So leading into everything, I say, you know what? Obviously, I do my activities for the show. This is usually at the end of our conversation where we'll do like a little activity. Maybe it's like some riddles or like a blind ranking, yada, yada, yada. For this one, I decided to do like a very light trivia. And again, the running joke here on the show is that, oh, Sean doesn't really have like any preparation for these stuff, when it comes to the closing activity. That day I did because I knew something was gonna happen. So I need to keep that like tucked in my back pocket. So I just used that time to just, ask all my questions. I went around to specific people, just kind of like, hey, like, what's your name? Asking something simple. Again, I want to be nice. I didn't want to like ask something completely like difficult because obviously like I have a heart. I have a heart. So I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna go down that route. But it was good to just kind of stall for time. And then there was like more things I needed to come up with on the fly because it was taking a little bit more time to kind of fix and resolve the issue. So then I went back to Yvonne Baker and I started asking, what's his personal safe room? Again, this is another thing we asked here on the safe room. What is your personal safe room? It's a whole part of our hot seat segment. So I thought, hey, why not? Let's just whip it out. Let's just see what we could do here. And then, everything was working well. I started looking to my left and right, like, we good? We good? Like, I can try to keep doing this, but I can't do this all day long. So eventually things cooled down. We got settled back in. And yeah, the Coalesce dance group came up, man, and they killed it. They absolutely killed it. High energy, high octane dancing. It was absolutely amazing. So, I mean, it was great and definitely worth the wait. Definitely worth the wait for those few couple of minutes. But again, it was definitely a fantastic performance. So, then after that, we got into the summit speakers, and that was something I did talk about before leading up to the summit that we're gonna have some speakers. And boy, oh boy, we had some heavy hitters, heavy hitters. It was no joke. And to start off, one of the main heavy hitters was Benjamin Paul. Now, I know you guys probably go to multiple events wherever you are, and sometimes the people that are speaking are usually very experienced individuals based on like, how much years they've been doing it, their age, how just their expertise bleeds into the work that they do. But I don't think anyone has ever seen an 11-year-old, yes, I'm not stuttering, an 11-year-old be such a powerhouse on the mic, because that's what Benjamin was. He was an absolute powerhouse. He blew everyone away. He blew everyone away. He's a wonderful individual. I highly recommend that you go and check him out. Go support what he's doing. He's absolutely he's a king. He's an absolute king in the making. He's growing his own empire. It's absolutely amazing to see like the youth grow up. Because again, that was the whole message about the summit. It's a youth summit. The whole theme is about be the light and basically pushing that younger generation, wanting the younger generation to realize their potential and let them to grow into those future leaders in their industry or whatever they do, having them take the charge and lead the next generation into the next stratosphere. So he is a perfect representation about that. And honestly, again, I was like, yo, I'm like, we need more of this. Like, honestly, like getting more youth to speak on this level, on this high magnitude is absolutely insane. So, Benjamin Paul, if you're listening, absolutely amazing. You were just you again, you blow everyone away. You blow me away. And I think we need to get him on the show. I think I need to get him on the show. Like I would love to have him on and you guys hear more about his story, how he's continuing to grow in his own path, in his own way. So absolutely amazing speaker, Benjamin Paul. And then, we kept it going. We had AO and again he was also amazing in what he was sharing as well. So I mean, again, everyone was killer, I will tell you that. And I mean, again, his work was basically on like data and AI, and obviously we've had multiple conversations, whether it's like in private or with a friend, about AI and data management. But to really talk about his experience and how he's been able to just make such an impact within that specific field, I think is definitely important. Because again, when we think about AI, a lot of people tend to have a very 50-50 mindset about it. Many folks are just very conflicted. They're just, I don't want to trust AI because, well, you never know what could possibly happen. You could possibly be taken over by robots. And honestly, that was me. I was on that side. And then I realized, well, AI is not going nowhere. Data has always been here. And with AI, it allows us to not only create and innovate new ideas, but to also utilize these tools in various ways that, it helps us to be more efficient. It helps us with automation. So being able to do certain tasks as easily as a snap of a finger without having to do so much manually. And just overall, I mean, it's just experimental. It's a very experimental thing to try out. And I know eventually, like with AI, it's gonna become so intuitive to the point where things that we do now of human like capacity capabilities, it's gonna bleed into AI. So I mean, even for him to be there to share his experience was absolutely incredible. So again, all the speakers, they did their thing. They did their thing for sure. And then, after AO, we got into an intermission. We had some light snacks, some refreshment. Again, the music was bumping. We got back into the swing of things with the summit speakers. Miss J, again, if you watch Love Bay Radio, if you're a Love Bay watcher, a committed Love Bay watcher 24/7, you've probably heard of the Business Weekly show with Miss J. It was great to finally meet her as well in person. Sometimes I try to pop in and watch a couple stuff, take a little nugget, some tidbits from her. So it was great for her to kind of, talk about her experience, really break down the philosophy of, what she does, even like she goes by so many different monikers. There's like, I'm just trying to look right now. There's the drip strategist, the boss methodologist, and like the way she even broke down drip for her speech, how she went on about drive, resilience, innovation, and progression. I thought that was great as well. Because I feel like for a lot of folks as well, when they listen to other speakers talk about just how the way that they operate or the things and the principles and the values that they hold to themselves, I think it's great because it's not only hearing it from their perspective, but the things that you can also apply in the work that you do as well. So it was super great to have Miss J there to really break down just the work that she does because it's definitely crucial and it's important, especially like related to what we do here on the safe room as well, given that space for business owners to really talk about just the pillars that they've built for themselves, how they operate, and how they're able to find success in the practices that they do. So it was great having Miss J there to really, share her experience, her expertise. It was super, super amazing. And then we had Isaiah, and Isaiah obviously being a Olympic champion and athlete and everything like that. It was super great. It was like having a celebrity in the room. So like his speech was honestly, it was probably like the most vulnerable. Like just sitting there and listening to everything. It was like super inspirational. And I think it was like it was needed too. Everyone else was kind of like sharing. Every speech was vulnerable, but I think for him, it's just like it was coming from the heart. Just being able to make it past all those trials and tribulations and being able to grow not only as an athlete, but also as a person and being able to just compete for over 20 years, as a para athlete and see so much success. It is inspirational because, again, we are going to go through so much hoops and hurdles. And, depending on your situation, it may be different from to an Isaiah Christoph. But overall, like, we're gonna have to deal with those at some point, and eventually we're gonna have to confront those obstacles. So it's a matter of how do you come on top? How do you become victorious? How do you try to overstep those boundaries that are put in front of you? So, I mean, it was so great to have him there to share his story. It was so inspirational. I was kind of getting teary eye. I'm not gonna lie. I was in the corner because, like, I needed to, like, stand to the side and make sure everything was good. I was like running back and forth, across everywhere. But I was like standing there, like, man, like I feel it. Like, it was definitely an emotional, just vulnerable speech. So again, Isaiah, shout out to you. Thanks for everything that you've done. So I mean, it was absolutely incredible. Again, all the summit speakers, they came to show out. They all came to just give their open and authentic experience. And I think that's really important. Again, it really echoes what we do here at the Safe Room, and it echoes what the Voice of Millennial Youth Summit is about, being that amazing event that can give you the entertainment, but also give you the realness of all these amazing folks who come together for this one event. And then we had the Coalesce Dance Group. They came back for a second time. Obviously, the first time they killed it. So I knew the second time they were going to absolutely body it as well. And they did. And then we got to our keynote speaker, Prince. And yeah, he definitely closed everything perfectly. He wrapped it up with a beautiful bow. His story is absolutely incredible as well. What he's been able to do. Someone who's a seasoned banking professional with over 6 years of experience, and how much support he's given to small businesses, over 500 small businesses. And, you know, just being able to extrapolate all that experience and just be more open, be more general in terms of just what you need to do for you to be successful. I think it's so important because, again, I think when we experience all these like successful things in life and then we have the chance to talk about it, we usually just talk about, like, oh, I did this, and this is how I did it. And I do think that's important, but sometimes for you, they just need to hear, just, okay, like, what were some things that, like, you just learned along the way, or what were some things that you struggle with but were able to figure out as you kept going, or do you have any tips? And I think that's super important. And sometimes people see that as, like, well, that's kind of like overrated, or it's been oversaturated to the point where, like, people just want information. It's like, okay, just tell me how to do this, or like, how can I apply this practice into what I do. And I do agree that's definitely important, but sometimes it's okay to just be more open and kind of have it be a one-on-one conversation where you're just kind of sharing, like, hey, just make sure that you're not losing consistency, practice discipline in what you do, focus on, like, managing your time, have grace for yourself. Don't try to experience that burnout so quickly in what you do. And then listen, I've had that experience multiple times already, and I've tried to pass that along to anyone who's getting into starting their own business. Like, don't try to experience burnout so much, because it's not gonna feel good. It's not gonna feel good regardless. And obviously, like, you can't stop burnout. It's inevitable. But I think overall, when you learn to manage that burnout and you learn to not put yourself in that situation over and over again, then you start to become a better business owner. You start to become a better entrepreneur. You start to become a better person in what you do. So I feel like Prince really touched on those points. He really talked about all of those major subject matter. So again, he wrapped things up beautifully in terms of these summit speakers. Again, every single one of them killed it. And then he got into the scholarships, and we gave away a couple of scholarships. It was a wonderful moment. It's always like the best part of the event. And I just want to say shout out to all the scholarship recipients. Shout out to all the different winners. And Benjamin Paul, like I mentioned before, he was absolutely amazing. He actually won the Voice of the Future award. So it was just absolutely amazing. And I'm seeing the chats. It was a great afternoon. Thank you. This is Brett from Toronto. Yeah, yeah, it was absolutely amazing. And honestly, like I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful to be able to host an event like that, which is just crazy. Because overall, I mean, like, it's like me, like really. We also got some more comments in the chat from Hema. Hey, Sean, this is Benjamin's mom. Oh, hey, hello, how are you? Thank you for the great shout out. Such kind words from Benjamin. You did such a great job hosting. We were fully entertained. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Honestly, like I was thinking to myself, like, oh boy, I hope I'm not stinking up the joint. It's just like I feel like you know what it is. Like I'm goofy, but I'm also like I'm very nerdy as well. Like I have like that blend of just like I'm funny, but I'm also like in a very nerdy way. And before I used to like keep that to myself. I didn't used to share it as much. But now it's like, you know what? I'm gonna be me. If people like my nerdiness, then it is what it is. So I mean, I'm glad that many people thought I did a great job. And I want to have grades for myself. So thank you. I really appreciate you all for the love and support. And then yeah, after the scholarships, we had our raffle. And listen, I don't know what was going on, but there was like two specific tables that were like winning all the prizes. I was like, it was crazy, but I mean, we had some amazing things to give away. We had a grill, we had some water bottles. Again, we had like merch again for anyone who listens to the weekend. There was stuff there. I'm telling you, you should have been there. You should have been there because it was a wonderful round of gifts just going away and away and away. And I thought to myself, like, hold on, let me get a ticket. I was like, wait a minute, let me have some fun. Like I can't lie. It's looking good. It's looking pretty scrumptious, but it is what it is. So overall, again, it was a wonderful event. Dr. Shabastin had the closing remarks. And yeah, right after that event, I had to go to a barbecue. So I mean, like, once I got home from that, oh, I was tired. I went straight to sleep. It was absolutely insane. But again, I just want to say thank you to Love Bay Radio. Thank you to the entire team for trusting me to MC that event. Thank you just for the opportunity. It was absolutely wonderful. I mean, if I would do it all over again. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. So yeah, that's pretty much a recap on what happened on the Voice of Malaya Youth Summit. This is something I usually like to do sometimes if I have the chance to like MC an event or even like do interviews, because something I usually do sometimes, occasionally like go to events and do interviews. I will like do a little recap. So I mean, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Just maybe if I get the chance to do it again, do I do another recap or this time I'll bring everybody on? Who knows? Also seeing the comments. Great job, Sean. I enjoyed the event. This is C from Brampton. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the event. Again, I was hyping it up. I was hyping it up a lot. So I'm like, listen, y'all need to come out because like if I'm there, the vibes are already gonna be like at a 9. So like it's only going to get better. So I'm glad that you enjoyed the event. Now, again, for those who are just coming in, again, usually it's me and a guest, but for this week, we're rocking solo. It's your boy Shon Williams here from the Safe Room live on Love Bay Radio. If you guys have anything you want to say, put it in the comments. Let me know. I just finished my recap of the Voice of Millennials Youth Summit. It was a wonderful event, 10 on 10. And now I do want to talk about some other things that's happening. And this is still related to the safe room. Now, I mentioned before a couple weeks ago that I'm going to be doing something special on Saturday, July 26th. And that is a celebration event. And the safe room is celebrating 5 years since we first started back in 2020. Going to be doing a celebration event. This event is taking place at 309 Cherry Street right here in Toronto. I'm super excited because number one, I mean, we talked about how the Voice of Millennial Youth Summit was my first event that I'm emceeing. Well, this is my first event that I'm officially like organizing myself. So a lot of firsts this month, which is it's great. Again, always trying something new challenges. That's what it's all about. It's all about growth. And yeah, we're have a very special lineup for that day. There's going to be raffles, food and prizes, everything like that. There's going to be a fireside chat. So I'm going to be doing sort of like an in-person live interview. So I'm super excited for that because I've never really done anything like that before. And there's going to be a special announcement courtesy of me that I will be sharing. But for anyone who is interested in coming out, you can go to my Instagram and check out the Safe Room official. The link will be in my bio. So definitely you would want to come out to that. It's very limited. It's a very limited event. I'm taking about 20 to 25 people because like I want it to be just something very simple and small. I also see Becca saying, congrats to 5 years. Thank you. The address, yes, the address is 309 Cherry. So, like the cherries that you eat, 309 Cherry Street. So it's located at a podcast studio that I actually been in there before. The name of the place is Toronto Podcast. Definitely go check them out on Instagram. They're absolutely amazing. They're probably one of the premier studios like in the city when it comes to like quality production, and they are absolutely incredible. So I definitely recommend you go check them out on Instagram. Toronto Podcast. That's where it's going to be taking place, 309 Cherry Street. But again, there's going to be a lot happening. Like I mentioned, there's going to be a fireside chat. So I'm going to be bringing in someone to have a interview with. It's a good friend of mine. His name is London Rich. He is a incredible human being. He does like filmmaking, cinematography, videography. So he's definitely going to bring his experience and be talking about, content creation, how he got started. I also see Hema again with the comment. A big thank you to the amazing team at Love Bay Radio for the great job they are doing in supporting our youths. God bless you all. Yeah, just again, just round of applause to Love Bay overall. Just they're incredible. They're amazing at what they do. So yeah, enough said. Enough said, Hema. Enough said. Yeah, but London again, he is an incredible individual. I actually have like a little bio that I want to read quickly if I can, because I want you guys to get like the proper detail of like what he does. So here it is. So yeah, London Rich is a results-driven digital marketing specialist with a strong foundation in content creation. He has collaborated with top brands including Universal Music Canada, MLSE, and many more. Known for thriving in fast-paced environments, London blends analytical expertise with creative vision to craft impactful content that drives engagement and growth. So yeah, he's absolutely amazing. He's absolutely incredible. I'm gonna have so much fun talking with him for my event. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I also see some more people in the chat. I love it. The interaction is coming in. You did an amazing job. Thank you. Thank you so much. Honestly, like I try. I really try. Again, listen, again, I was nervous. I know some people don't think like, oh, you were a pro. No, I was nervous, but I really appreciate all the love. I also see from Anka, how many podcasts have you done during this period? Oh, I think I've lost count. If I have to say, it's like somewhere between 175 to 200. I might have to go back and count to see if we reached 200 at this point. So, I mean, overall, it has been a crazy journey. For people who don't know, like before I was on Love Bay, I was still doing my podcast like every single week, dropping. So, I mean, like the whole weekly schedule, that wasn't something that once I got to Love Bay, it was a completely new, experience. Like I was doing that from the beginning, like day one. So it is what it is. Also see Karina also saying the keynote speaker spoke some word of wisdom. Yeah, you were talking about Prince, and again, like he shared a lot just based on his experience and being able to take all of that and not only say it in a very general but very relatable way was super super amazing. Because again, I feel like a lot of times when we have so many people who bring such a vast amount of experience to the table, they tend to just share everything all at once and it kind of feels like information overload. But I feel like for him, for Prince, he perfectly broke down everything in terms of like what the youth needed to hear, what everyone needed to hear. So he was absolutely amazing. Again, I should probably reach out to all the speakers and get them on the show. Would you guys like that? If I were to get Prince, get Benjamin, get Ayo, Miss J, Isaiah, get them on the show, like we can make it happen. Listen, that's something I even told myself too. Like, even some of the Love Bay hosts for like all the various shows, I would love to have them on the safe room. I feel like that should be a goal of mine. So who knows? Like, maybe start by next week, you might see like a familiar face. Maybe Nigel from the Champions Table, Miss J from Business Weekly. Well, we'll see. We'll try to make it happen. So, it is what it is. So yeah. I mean, again, back to what I was saying about my events. It's going to be a fun time. We're looking to do a raffle as well. And for this raffle, I just want to be where I can, give out something that's very resourceful. Obviously I could go above and beyond and say, hey, let me get like a nice gift basket. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, that's gonna be for like a temporary period. And obviously, like whatever I'm giving may not last forever, but my audience again is mostly made up of people who have their own businesses, who are trying to grind in the work that they're doing. So like maybe I can offer a service as a grand prize. So maybe it's like you need like studio time. Here's like a free hour of studio time. If you need someone to like make a banner for you, then I know a person that can do that and they're willing to give you like a discount just because of that. Whatever the case may be, that's something that I'm kind of looking towards too, because I feel like those things really help a lot, for anyone who is a business owner or who is an entrepreneur. And even too, I've never been someone to just gatekeep. I've never been that type of person. I know a lot of people feel like, oh no, I don't want to share this with this person because like what if it ruins my chance? Listen, we are living in an age of like over information. There's just too much information out there. And even if you were to share everything on the table, just because you give all the information, it's up to them to apply it. And because of that, I mean, overall, like if they're gonna take that information, cool. If they don't, that's on them. So it is what it is. Got some more love here. We have, is that, I think it's a Neil. Yep. Let's go, Sean. First time viewer. I am enjoying the program. Thank you. Listen, usually I have a guest. So like if this is your first time coming on here and you're enjoying it, I really appreciate it. Like we have even more fun when we have a guest on because like the conversations are really like rich. They're really like deep and we get into it with our guests. But again, this week I'm just rocking the solo approach because you know what? I want to just do a recap of the Voice of Millennial Youth Summit. So again, I really, really appreciate it. Appreciate all the love from all of you guys. And again, I'm seeing some more people come in with comments. Karina again. I'm sure it'll be much cooler next year. I mean, yeah, that's like a double. That's a double entendre, I would say. Like cooler as in like, yeah, the event's going to be like much bigger and much more epic, but also cooler because again, the weather, the weather was not good. I mean, it was good. And I guess I don't want to be picky because I mean, like we kind of asked for this. Like I know for anyone who lives in Toronto, we got so sick and tired of the cold, like the winter and the snow and whatever. But at the same time, it's like we ask for the sun, we ask for like the hot days, and then when we get it, we're complaining. So that's why I'm not. Listen, beggars can't be choosers. I can't just be so picky. I would rather it be that it's hot and I'm dripping sweat than having to wear like 5 layers of clothes, which I will do if it's like really cold outside. So it is what it is. Yeah, so again, just a reminder, if you guys want to get your spots for this celebration event I'm having for Saturday, July 26th for the Safe Room. Cheers to 5 is the name of the event. Cheers to 5 years. Head to my Instagram, the Safe Room Official. Head to the link in my bio and purchase your ticket. There's going to be food and beverages. I'm getting a caterer, someone that I've had her food multiple times. And let me tell you something. I don't know if y'all heard of like a curry chicken spring roll, but hey, it slaps. It slaps. So you definitely would want to try it if you're coming to this event. Like I mentioned before, it's gonna be games and prizes. Something that I've wanted to do for the longest time, and I do want to talk about this. I don't know who has played this game. Again, I'm young. I'm 24, so like this was like my generation. This was like when I was growing up back in high school. But there's a specific card game that kind of correlates to my moniker as Mr. President. It's basically the card game itself, President. Obviously, I know it has like different names. There's like bum, scum, a hole. I won't say it on here. We're a family show, ladies and gentlemen. We're a family show, but basically the whole point of the game is that you're trying to get rid of your cards and you're basically trying to become the president, and you're not trying to become like the bum. So usually there's like different ranks. There's like president, vice president, bum, neutral, wherever the case may be. I used to play it a lot back in high school. Me and my friends, we would go for lunch, just head to the back of the library, would have our food there, and like that's all we did. That was all we did. It created so much memories, and it kind of started the lore of my nickname, Mr. President. It kind of came off of that game, that moment. So I kind of wanted to do that for my event because number one, I haven't played that game since then. Again, I'm 24. I graduated high school back in 2018. So it's been 7 years since I played that game. So I mean, I would love to bring that to life just as like something fun, sort of like an invitational. Anyone can come out and play. Looking to do even like a grand prize to like the ultimate winner. But yeah, there's going to be a lot happening, lots of music, lots of entertainment and activities. This is supposed to be a very chill event. I definitely want to do more future events when the time comes. Things are more structured, like, sharing information and resources, or even doing something like a live, like podcast itself, maybe on a monthly basis, so people can actually come out, be part of that experience, ask questions. That's something I've always wanted to do. And, I definitely have those plans. But for this one, I just want to be more civil, more laid back. You're here for a good time. We're here to celebrate. So again, that's kind of the focus of this special event that I'm going to be doing on Saturday, July 26th. Now, going on to my next talking point in terms of just what are some things I want to do, like just moving forward, because obviously like the safe room has been super successful, 5 years. It's been over a year since I've been on Love Bay, and it's changed my life. But funny enough, I've been asked this question ironically a couple times, and even from some people at work, so I mean, they've asked like, what are some things you want to do with your show? And for the longest time, I just thought, you know what? I don't know. Just kind of keep it as it is. Just keep it building. And, I said this at the beginning of the start of the show, that I like challenges. I want to do something new. And one thing that I would love to do is to take this international. And when I mean that, I'm not just talking about like speaking in front of like an international audience. Like, I guess I'm technically doing that right now, but I mean like doing more live events international, just going around the world, traveling, bringing the safe room there, whether it's like a live show, like sort of like those live comedy shows or like those live podcast shows that you book in a like a venue, and you have people come out and it's like connecting and everything like that. Those are things that I want to do. I love to interact with people. I know we have a lot of people who are guests on the show, and usually they are introverts. And don't get me wrong, I have my shy moments, but I'm definitely more on the extrovert side of things, where I like to interact with people. I like to meet those and just talk, get to know them a little bit better. If there's anything I can do to support them, then I'll try to do that, whether it's like be a cheerleader or even like point them into the right direction, or maybe it's collaboration and partnership. So I mean, that definitely is something it's in me. Like I can't get rid of it. I just can't get rid of it. So I would love to do more like in-person events, again, doing more live conversations, and let that become a norm of what I do. Hopefully, again, to do it international, like do it in the States, maybe even in the Caribbean. I think that would be super dope. If I could bring the safe room back to like Grenada, because like that's my background, that would be great. Or even bring it to Jamaica, St. Lucia. I would love that. I think that would be amazing. That would be a great experience, not just for myself, but even to bring up like the youth, because I do believe again the youth are the future, and allowing them to find their voice through an outlet like podcasting, like radio, is a great way for people to express themselves and to just be authentic. If you want to go in a certain career path and you want to share that, you should have that opportunity to share that. So that's something I definitely want to have aspirations on. And again, even for myself personally, I would love to just like be able to do this full time. I would love to do this full time. Heck, maybe I get into MC work consistently, like moving forward. That's definitely something I've thought about for sure. So, I mean, I know a lot of you guys have showed some love for what I did last Saturday. I mean, who knows? Maybe I have to start reaching out to some people in my community or hosting community events, like saying, hey, I want to be an MC. And listen, I know you got to work somewhere. Like sometimes if I have to start for free, cool. But obviously, I want to be to a point where I could come in, I could get compensated for my time being. That's definitely something that is super important for anyone who's being an MC, because, being able to control the flow of a show like in real times is important. And it's a daunting task. No matter what anyone says, you may think like, oh, well, it's like only a 1 hour event or a 2 hour event. Even if it's a 1 hour, 2 hour, 8 hour event, it takes a lot. So, I mean, I'm definitely looking to probably even dive into something like that. Even for my events, like I'm not emceeing it. I'm having someone else come in as an MC. So I know it's going to be a very daunting task for them. But overall, I think that's something I would love to explore even more, just for my personal sake. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I didn't want to go too long for tonight. Usually like we're going like an hour and 20 minutes. So usually like this is like the half point. This is like the halfway point of our conversation. But again, I'm not rocking with a guest today. It's just me solo. But I will say one final thing before we wrap things up. And this is just something that I just want to be very open and transparent with. I was actually sharing this with the Love Bay team here, and I feel like since we're here on the safe room, it's not only just about being a safe space to share, but also like again, I don't want to gatekeep. So at the moment right now, I'm actually part of a separate project called Art House TO. Um, Amazing group of people. The co-founders, Jeff and Andrea, they're located at Pape and Danforth, to be specific, 640 Pape Avenue. It's like 5 minutes away from Pape Station. And overall, I mean, they've been amazing people. They basically supported my journey for the last 5 years. So they are like number one fans. Um, I do see some questions. Janine from Syracuse. We have, how do you enjoy being a talk show host and a podcaster? That's a good question. Honestly, like when I got started, I thought I wouldn't be like as natural when it came to me speaking, just like with the flow and everything. But one thing I realized, I love to yap. I actually do like to yap. It was kind of like embedded into me. So I feel like being a talk show host and a podcaster, it's great because not only does it allow me to like just be open and express my personality and my emotions, but it's also great because I get to kind of not want to say control the story, but bring out the best stories out of people, with the questions I ask. And I know that's something that I haven't talked about as much, but a lot of people, like once we go off live, the first thing people say is like, I don't know how you do it, Sean. Like, you're absolutely amazing. Like, the questions you ask are so thorough, but it's also like they're entertaining. Like, you have this like structured approach where everything's so professional, but there's also that nice blend of like fun and unpredictability that I don't know what's gonna happen, whether it's through the hot seat segment or like your activities or just like the way you interact. So I mean, I think being a talk show host and a podcaster, it's very grateful for me and it's satisfying because it just how many people just resonate just how I approach myself. It's absolutely amazing. And again, I'm grateful because I could be doing something else and there's nothing wrong with that. But to be here, sitting with you guys, it's absolutely a blessing from God. I know this was something that was put in front of me and, I took it and I'm grateful. So I appreciate the question. I really appreciate the question. But yeah, as I was saying about this project I'm on, Art House TL. So right now, they are in the process where they just got their eviction note. So they are a pop-up studio and they do a lot of amazing stuff, where it's like music production, workshops, arts, mentorship, podcast production. I've used their space before to film, and it was definitely a nice little middle ground when I was transitioning from doing virtual conversations to now here on Love Bay. It was there I used to go for all their like support resources. So it was just recently they were handed an eviction notice, and they have until July 31st to raise about $20,000, which I know for anyone out there, it's a lot of money. It's definitely a lot of money. And I've tried to step in and help out as much as I possibly can. I may not know the first thing about fundraising, but there's one thing I do believe is like trying to save something. I do believe that if you have the chance to say something, you take that chance. And I know for many of you that maybe you don't know much about Art House, but if there's anything I can say, these two people are the most resilient and most supportive individuals that you could ever come encounter with. When I tell you they have created such an impact for the safe room, I truly mean it. Anytime I've posted anything in terms of just an upcoming guest or an upcoming episode, they're the first one to repost. And that wasn't something that I was just asking them to do. Like they started doing that. They found my page and they just kept reposting me. When I say they were there from the beginning, they were there from the beginning and still here. They are such a huge contributor to what we do, whether it comes to the support, how they've helped me grow. I actually have something that I'm going to be sharing again on my event July 26th that correlates to their involvement as well. So I mean, they are super huge to just my growth, and I'm forever in debt in terms of just being able to support them. So what I'm asking you guys, if you have the time, if you guys can go check them out on Instagram, Art House TO. They have a GoFundMe page in their bio. And again, they're looking to raise $20,000. Now, listen, we are in the process of trying to reach out to investors. We're looking to reach out to specific folks to get that large sum. But if you guys can give a donation, that really goes a long way. That could go a long way. You never know. And I want to believe that, we can save the space. It can be done. It's the 17th. So we have 2 weeks. But I know we can raise a good amount of money that will keep them in this position to keep their pop-up studio, to run their programming there. And obviously it was something out of nowhere, because again, one of the co-founders had to step away because their father was ill. So because of that, they weren't working. And that's what caused all the rent payments to be backed up. But again, I believe in the work that they do. And I would hate for them to lose their spot because we didn't have enough to fight for. So I'm trying to do that right now. And I'm hoping for anyone listening, again, if you're watching this for the first time, I'm hoping that you guys can support something that's as dear to me, and also help two people maintain their space. Because it's not just a pop-up studio, it's basically their home. Like they basically at times like they will be there from dusk to dawn. It doesn't matter. So it's basically a second home to them. It is their own space. So I would really appreciate, if you guys can go to their Instagram, Art House. That is ARTHOUSETO, Art House TO. Go to the GoFundMe in their bio and make a donation. Make a donation and let them know that it came from me. It came from Shon Williams here on the Safe Room. Again, guys, this is not just a safe space for people to share their stories, but I also want it to be a platform where we can create significant change. So I hope you guys take the time to go check out their page. They are very vocal in terms of what they do. They are believers of art, community, social justice, especially the social justice aspect. They really talk about all the political events, the things that happen around in the world and Palestine and Gaza that no one else is covering. Not even the news is covering 24/7. So those are things that they are value to in terms of what they do and what they represent. So again, take the time, Art House TOARTHOUSETO, Art House TO on Instagram. Go to their FundMe page and give a donation. But other than that, guys, that's everything I have to share. I know I said I was gonna go for an hour, but I guess we're almost close to an hour. But again, thank you guys for listening. For if you were there from the beginning to the end of this conversation, appreciate you. Again, you can find me on Instagram at the Safe Room Official. If you want to follow my personal page, it's the President of TO. Again, on YouTube, if you want to find the Safe Room, any of our conversations, just go to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, or even type in the search engine. If you type in the Safe Room and Love Bay Radio, there's actually a playlist of all my previous conversations. So we're compiling just the greatest hits of the Safe Room. So if you want to go check those out, binge watch them, then you can definitely take the time to do that. Again, we'll be back again next Thursday with a guest. I promise you. So for anyone who's first time viewers, it's not just me. Like, we're gonna have a guest next week, and you'll get to see like me in action when I'm speaking to someone else. But I do appreciate you guys. I want to say thank you for today, because you guys were my guests. You guys are always my guests. You guys are always welcome on the Saver, but you definitely helped me to get through this conversation. I don't mind doing solo. I've done solo conversations before. That was a long time ago, but I've done it before. And I really appreciate the love and support from everyone here. Again, really, really appreciate it. And make sure you guys tune in next week to your favorite show on Love Bay Radio. But until then, we'll see you guys next time.